forgot to bring my watch. I want to. My homie hooks me up with these watches and Orange O'Grains. And so
You want to plug them?
yeah. I got like 6 of them or 7 maybe now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Connect Realty Podcast. Are we changing it to Connect Podcast?
Podcast.
To the
Yeah,
Connect Podcast.
Officially.
This is episode 20. Yeah.
Nice.
Episode 20. We made it to 20. Not a lot of podcasts do that.
No. Well, I mean, I think podcast is like I was telling you guys earlier, podcast is like the thing now. It's just conversations, having conversations, and all of a sudden from 1 to like 100, and it's just for pure conversations. Like in your episode 20, and this is going to be another conversation.
Yeah, it is. And it's a conversation, it's a relationship that's been going a long time, man. And we appreciate you being here. Why don't you introduce yourself so I guess who you are?
Well, hi everybody out there. My name is Michael Keith with Cal Coast Pest Management. We specialize in residential and commercial pest control services. Born and raised here in San Diego. I mean, I've known Clint for a long time from back in the day. Yeah, so we both San Diego boys. So, and we're still at it at San Diego. I obviously have a business in pest control services. I've been with Cal Coast. I started Cal Coast Pest Management in 2018, and then till all the way till now. We do obviously commercial, we do residential, we do termite work,
Government.
Yeah, we actually on having a conversation right now, and so possibly because nothing's official until you sign a dotted line, until starting a government contract in Miramar January.
Awesome.
So and we've done it before, and we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's great. I think I think of you way more than just pest control.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because of the person you are, right? You're always here willing to, give a hand in whatever we need.
Sure.
One of the big things that we do is the turkey drive, and you're involved in that. You go with us to give out the turkeys, also the toy drive. You've been involved pretty much every year that we've been doing it, so we appreciate you for that.
Absolutely.
And our friendship goes back way beyond it seems like another lifetime ago, right?
Yeah. It just seems, it kind of at days seems like it was yesterday, but obviously if you get a pen and paper and you write it down, it was quite a bit ago.
Yeah, and not only that, but like seeing how much we've grown from being in adolescence, right? Some troublemaking kids.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. But I think it built character of who we are and what we are to the community too, right? Like my presence, and I always give back to my community because I was there, you know what I mean? Like I always want to help out people with the less fortunate, right? Because we know how it is to be there. Right. But yeah, no, thanks for coming, man. I'm pumped to talk to you a little bit. I think one of the biggest reasons I wanted to have you on, not only just the donation stuff, but I think when I think of anybody, and I tell people this all the time, like if you're trying to start a business, you gotta talk to Mike. Like this guy literally started from ground floor, nothing, to like, how many workers do you have now?
Well, right now we have a total we have about 7 or 8 right now.
7, 8,
yeah.
Like the whole fleet, wrap trucks,
yeah,
marketing on point.
Don't forget about the rims.
Yeah. Everything, man. Like you do it great.
Yeah.
You do what you do, but you do it like top notch, everything.
Sure.
And I think that's something to really like look at, especially you have a lot of people like reach out like, hey, how do I start this? Where they talk to Mike. Like Mike's gonna point you in the right direction. He'll help you, because it's not easy to start from nothing.
Mm-mm.
And I think that you did that. What was like your hardest struggle, you think, like creating this business?
Wasn't much about the creation of it. So when I first started, it was fun. Like I just remember I was with the company, then worked out with the company, decided just the next day to start my own thing, and I was excited. I'm very impulsive, so I never think of anything like what if. I just think of let's do it, regardless of the outcome. I have a little bit of understanding now about outcomes, and I have a good relationship with outcomes. But before I was just impulsive. I never thought about doing things because I want to get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I always done things because I'm like, looks pretty, looks cool, let's go. And so I just did it. In that moment, I just did it. I just did my thing. I started with a partner at the time. We had our fictitious name. Took a couple months to get that. We had to get licensed and okayed by the SPCA, the Structural Pest Control Board. Once we were able to do that, I had already built a lot of relationships, as you guys already know. Like, especially you, Clint. I'm a chatterbox. I like talking to people. I'm a very personable person. I'm a very charismatic person. So that I took that and used it to build up a relationship with people. But
your network.
Yeah, but I didn't understand what that meant. This was all impulsive. Like, this is an impulsive way that I was doing things. It wasn't really methodical at all. Now it's a little bit different, but before I was just like, I just wanted to talk to people, like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I do, and I'm good at what I do. The problem was, like, you only know what you know, and just because I know a lot of people doesn't mean I know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know somebody, let's just say there's like 8 million people in San Diego, and I know maybe like 2% of that. And so I wanted to know more. I didn't understand what that meant. But when I got the business and I was able to go, I already had built up enough relationship to bring in some cash flow and bring in some work. And so I got some work done. We were able to get the military. That was a big help. I mean, not a big help. I won't even say help. It was one of those things that we wanted to provide something so much because we knew we were good, but not a lot of people knew that we were that good.
Mm-hmm.
So it gave us an opportunity and a platform to really show our case, and it really did. And so we showed.
Check that box, like boom, give you yourself too a little bit of like credit. What's the word?
Credibility.
Yeah.
You know, go around saying, hey, we have contracts with the military.
Right.
You know, that lends a lot of credibility to what you guys are doing.
Right.
You know, to be trusted with, you know, something like that makes it easy. Probably makes it an easier decision for either the homeowner or the commercial business to, you know, to sign up with you, right?
Yes, but I never thought of it that way until later on. Once I started dropping in that name, like, it was just one of those names that we were dropping like consistently, and then I started to understand, like, damn, this is like, people actually see this as like a credible company and see us as
a check on your resume.
Yeah, and so I'm like, you know, and then the strategy later started coming in. But the strategy later didn't come until I went into, I talked to you before, and actually you were, maybe it's a good idea to turn off my phone.
Nice.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, and no, I'm gonna turn this off because this thing is gonna keep going. So I did an emotional intelligence course, and my good friend Dominic Cruz, which, you know, I don't know if you guys watch him, or I know you know who Dom is. You know, Dom is ex-UFC champion, commentator. I think he has his own show on ESPN, etc.
From Chula Vista, right?
Yeah, he's from Chula. Well, he's from Arizona, but he
trained here.
He trains here, and I've been. Those of you who know me know that I've been training at Alliance Training Center. I've been training Muay Thai for, God, like 19 years now. And so we were servicing Dom's house, and Dom's like, "Hey, do you want your business to grow?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, I want you to try this place out. It's an emotional intelligence course called Choice Center. And so I'm like, a champ is telling me that this works for him and he's inviting me there. I'm not gonna say no. So I ended up going to Vegas. Can't say too much about it, but when I got there, it wasn't what I expected. It was very taboo. That's the only thing I can say. It was 3 months of that course, and after that course, I understood that why I was doing what I was doing. Because remember, I was like earlier, I was saying I was a very impulsive person. I just did things because looks shiny, looks good. Oh, you like it? I want to do it.
In the moment.
Right, because I'm a people pleaser. So, but I didn't understand, like, that people pleasing is not always people pleasing. It's pleasing something that you don't understand. Mm-hmm. Maybe pleasing something that they don't understand either. So I was always pleasing without really pleasing. I think most people do that. And so once I went into the course, I understood what it meant to please, and it has nothing to do with pleasing others. It has to do with pleasing yourself, and it has a lot to do with looking in the mirror and actually telling yourself, who am I? Is this what I like? Is this what I love? And what can I do to love myself more so I can love other people? Because you can say you love other people all you want, but the definition of love is different from each and every one of us. So one love to one person mean completely different to another person. So it's not necessarily love. It's mostly just pleasing. So I understood what that meant, and ever since then, my business just like skyrocketed. Like, it became more intentional, and then that's where I met one of my mentors, Caesar, from the owner of Cloak and Pedal, and he coached me throughout the entire process from Choice Center, and even outside of Choice Center, he coached me to have a different perspective on what it takes to grow a business in his eyes. And he has a successful business. Like Cloak and Pedal is popping. Like it's a very
He's
successful.
doing other restaurants too.
Yeah, he had a Womp Burger, and then I think that one got sold. And I think he's opening. He's got like an Airbnb. He has a bunch of projects. But I mean, the guy, he's a mastermind. Like in my eyes, he's a mastermind. To me, he's just above average. And so I was able to be coached by him and allowed myself to be coached by him, because one thing is to be coached by somebody, or somebody can talk to you about something. It doesn't mean you're listening. But I allowed myself for feedback. Once you allow yourself for feedback, then you can give a perspective of what they're saying and implement it. Because if you allow yourself, it means that you understand and you trust the process and you want to move forward with it. And so from then on, I started getting standing operating procedure systems in place. I started to have quarterly goals or challenges. I don't care much about goals, but challenges. I wanted to meet those challenges, all pen and paper written down, and accountability and vulnerability and just trusting the process. And so with that, I just understood what I needed to do in the perspective of my personal way of growing the business, and I went along with it. And then now, everything that we have, I mean, we're very hard marketing. We have from like nice jackets. Obviously, I got the tires and the rims that are really flashy, got the wraps on all the vehicles. We have
The colors stick out, everything. You're different than the rest of the pest control companies, right?
Right, and the only reason why I know we're different is because I'm involved with all the organizations in pest control. So the PCOC, and they changed the name, I don't even remember the name. So MPMA, PCOC, we're involved in Pest World. We go to all these courses in New York. We've gotten invited, we're honored to be invited by a guy named Bobby Corrigan. In our industry, he is like the god. Like, he's equivalent to like the most knowledgeable person you can learn from when it comes down to rodents. Many people think rodentology, what is that? But you don't understand until you have a rodent problem. Once you start to understand, like, this is not just setting traps. This is a very systematic way that we have to do things, because rodents are very similar to what we are. There's a reason why they test them. And the reason why they test them on products that we use, on anything that we use, rodents are the first ones that be tested. That's because they're very close to us in regards to anatomy, characteristics, emotions, you name it, and survival instincts. Like, they are very instinctual when it comes down to survival. They will survive and they want to live and they'll do whatever to live. So we were invited by Bobby Corrigan. And so we went to Bobby Corrigan, New York. New York has a big rodent problem. So we were there for 3 days. I took one of my team members. It was the best experience that we've ever had. Then we've gone to Berkeley. We've gone to Arizona. We've gone to Indianapolis. We've gone to Florida. I mean, we've gone Colorado. God, where else? New Orleans.
These are just training.
All training.
Yeah.
All education. We're heavy on education.
How do you think the ROI is on that? Like, when I know we've talked about this, like, you have you coaching these people up, and then they take another position in another company.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to like invest that, right? If they're not gonna stick around.
That's the reason why I if I'm gonna do something, it's not gonna be the ROI. To get the ROI out of it, that's a plus.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this for ROI. Like, you're talking about Santiago. Shout out to Santiago. Like, I didn't sponsor him because I was hoping to get something in return.
Yeah.
I sponsored him because we had a really good connection. I really like that guy. I really feel like that guy is going to be in the UFC for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care if he ever shouts me out or not. I care about how I feel about what I want to do at that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like in that moment, I want to help him.
So it goes back to like the internal feelings that you're having and what makes you happy.
Kind of, because if we're going down that path, if one of my team members left and I invested so much money in there, how does that make me happy? So probably not.
I mean, maybe that's the instant gratification part of it, right?
Yeah.
Or the momentarily, you don't know what's gonna change down the line.
It's more like a systematic approach. So like, if I'm going to use logic, I'm gonna be like, okay, if I invest in this person, and this person happens to get everything that he wants to get from the courses that is being invested, that means that his growth is exponential. There's a good chance that that person's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to utilize what I've learned and what is being invested back into the company.
Yeah.
Possibly. Does that make me happy? Not really. Because I think happiness is a choice. I don't choose to be happy most of the time. It's not a really happy moment for me. For me, it's a moment of clarity, and it's a moment of growth, and it's a moment of moving forward. If I choose to be happy, I'll stay stagnant. Like, if I wanted to be happy, I'm like, okay, I'm happy with my business, I'm good, I'm just gonna chill.
Oh yeah, I definitely know the feeling, right? Like
Yeah.
you could literally have less, do less,
Yeah.
and feel less stress.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But you're not growing at that point.
No. So that's why I never choose to be happy. And then people may think that's kind of weird. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion, that's fine. But for me, I don't choose to be happy because happiness is kind of content. Like, you're content when you're happy. And
So
so
you're purposely putting yourself in situations to make you change, grow, challenge yourself, uncomfortable.
Exactly. I prefer to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, in my experience, I put myself, and this is what I've been taught. This is like ingrained in, you gotta understand that course, I'm not gonna say much, but that course is a very systematic approach for growth and personal development growth. Part of personal development growth has a lot to do with being uncomfortable, because uncomfortableness, it's like putting your back against the wall. If you're putting your back against the wall, you got 5 dudes at you, there's gonna be people that are gonna crumble down and cover themselves and give up. There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, let's go.
Right.
I'm the kind of person that you put me against the wall, I'm fighting until I cannot breathe anymore. That's just the way I am. And I think a lot of people from the South Bay are kind of the same way.
Yeah, they got that grind in them.
Yeah, because we had no choice. The way it was, I'm not gonna go that far, but I believe that there's a system. They systematically put us into a position where we're just going to be working in one specific thing.
Yeah.
We weren't meant to be entrepreneurs, I don't think. I mean, we can debate about it.
Okay, I think we weren't coached to be entrepreneurs, right? That's it.
That's it.
You have to learn that. It's something that you have to literally have the saying, right? Break out of the box.
Right.
Right. There's a cookie cutter approach for education, which is a whole other topic that we could get into. But once you learn to break out of that, to do your own thing, you literally, the opportunities are endless, right? And I think that's what you got a part of, and you're hooked on it.
Big time. I understood my strengths. I understood my voice, because before I was like, I'm gonna go in the back. I don't want people to hear me. I don't want people to see me. I think I sound stupid. I think I don't have important things to say. But that was just the way it was presented to me always.
Well, and now that you have an expertise,
Sure.
you have a voice.
Yeah.
Right? I think.
Talking on the subject, you're saying that you kind of had like a lack of confidence, or you didn't necessarily get coached into being an entrepreneur. What gave you that confidence to make the step, like from one day to another, leaving your other business and just building your own?
In regards to that, what you're just saying, leaving my business, had everything to do with anger. So that was at a bad place. But then when I went to Choice Center, I substituted anger to courage, because they're both different. I was scared. Everything in my life that I've ever done when I was young, I was scared. Everything. Internally scared, maybe on an external way, maybe not. You may not have been able to see it, but inside I was scared little puppy. Because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I thought I had to be something that I wasn't. So I substituted anger because I was pissed. Like, I had my password, like, it was like F word in the old company that I had, because I was so mad at them. I hated them. And then I understood that hate didn't derive from hate, it derived from being scared. And so I wanted to convert fear into courage, because the counter of fear is courage and acceptance. So I substituted that. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I converted it into courage. It took courage for me to do that.
It makes sense. Were you processing all these emotions in the moment, or would you say that's kind of like a retrospect type of thing?
After I took the Choice Center, I processed it. In the beginning, I didn't. I was just impulsive, like mad, just pissed off. And then later on, I processed it. I broke down, what does fear mean? How did I feel with fear? How did I feel with being scared? How did I feel with being angry? Like, I systematically broke those down into what it meant, what it means, and how it reflects myself, and how does it serve me? It did not serve me. It didn't serve me anything. If anything, it was a downfall here. It people may not have been able to see it, but internally, it was a downfall for me. I was on a spiral to losing everything, because everything was derived by fear, and everything was derived by just being scared and just unknown.
Do you think it's that same fear that still like motivates you to this day, or have you kind of shifted your mentality?
Fear is, I have a great relationship with fear. like I acknowledge I fear, because we all fear. We all have this like fear, like, oh, what if I don't want to do that. Sure, I ask myself that, but it's not really. And now I acknowledge that I fear, and I don't move on fear, but I acknowledge it. I understand that it's there, and I ask myself, which way do you want to pursue? Do you want to go down the fear route, or do you want to go down the courage route? I'm like, screw this, courage.
What's that quote? It's like I think Kobe Bryant. Everything you ever want is on the other side of fear.
Yes, exactly. So it is, and then a perfect example. How many people have you known that always say, I could have, but? A lot of people do that, and they prevent themselves so much. And I think I always believe that everybody has a capability for greatness, but nobody has the capability to do it. And I think in order to overstep that or reach to that plateau, you have to understand that fear is always going to be there.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it, regardless of which way you pick. Like even if you decide not to go, like, oh, I'm scared, so I'm not gonna do it. The fear's still there. You're still scared.
That's what being brave is. You're still scared, but you're taking the courage to take a step forward. And
Risk too, right? Risk averse. I think going back to what you were saying is like, I forget totally what I was gonna say right now.
That's okay. We're freaking talking.
Well, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
What kind of advice do you give, like the new guys that join your team, or somebody who's looking to get better at their craft, or even start a new business? Like what do you tell these guys?
If they, first of all, like, if they allow me to give advice, because I usually don't like to give advice unless somebody, like, if I either ask, is it okay if I give you some feedback? They're like, yes. What I would say is just trust the process and allow yourself to receive feedback, because you can't take the world on your own. There's no way. I used to think I could do it all. There's no way. I think we could, but not alone.
I remember what I was gonna say. We were talking about like becoming an expert in your field,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Having that expertise gives you a notch, but also gives you the confidence, right? Then you're able to like attack a situation. And we were talking about fear or courage, like attacking is courage,
Right, yeah.
So having years in the business, experience, the knowledge, all of those stack up on the courage side, right? And they help you to overcome like these fear outcomes,
Sure.
or whatever
The
situation.
barriers.
Like you have a fork in the road. You say I choose courage just because you're well enough equipped to go that route.
That's true.
Right? It helps you out. I think one of the things that we do talk about here on the podcast is our goals and like our aspirations, what we're trying to do. And I think like that conversation is amazing for Carlos, because like he's in this beginning stage where like that expertise might not be there, but he's starting to learn it, and then choosing the courage side, or choosing the risk, or choosing,
Right.
what was the word that you said?
Bravery.
Right? Choosing to be brave in a certain situation. Like you learn a lot more than curling up in the corner.
Sure.
Right? It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you can see why we wanted to have you on the podcast. we could be talking, circles around this. How about home ownership? I know you're a homeowner.
Yeah. So that one, it's honestly, I'm gonna be honest, like everything's always in the back end when it comes to my business. And when they ask me, what do you do for fun? Business. They're like, that's not healthy. I'm like, maybe, but that's what I choose to do.
But you're also in this crazy growth state of your company, right?
Yeah.
Like in the last 6 years, it's completely changed your life.
The way that I see it is that like for surfers are obsessed with waves. Right now there's a wave and I'm riding that wave.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And I don't want to get off my surfboard. And it comes with a lot of sacrifices. It really does. And I'm okay with that. I'll sacrifice away. And that's because I believe in what I'm doing. If you look at a lot of these entrepreneurs, they sacrifice a lot. Everybody in their way gets sacrificed.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs, or like people that are like constantly doing businesses, they don't have great relationships.
No.
They don't have, a home life. They don't have, that's definitely work-life balance is in play at some point,
Right, and that's why, like for me, that's why the courage has to come into play, especially with my team members too, because I have to make decisions based off of the best that I believe that should be best for the business. I am forever a villain, dude. I am a villain. Like, to me, I am okay with being a villain. I'm always gonna be a villain. There's people that used to work with me and hate my guts right now. And I'm okay with that. I always tell them, if you hate me that much, I train at Aztec Boxing between 7 and 9. Bring your gloves. Bring shin guards too, because I'm gonna kick you.
Are you training there at Aztec with Chris?
Yeah, Chris Martin. Shout out to Chris Martin, Aztec Boxing.
Shout out to Chris. We're selling his dad's laundromat right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, with that dude that, remember that you guys had the road, was it the road, where Charlie had that new spot and everybody got together in National City? Well, you were there. Willie was there too.
No, that he wanted to buy it.
Oh, okay.
Which would have made sense, but he's just not in that position right now. He's gonna wait.
So you're gonna buy it?
No, I'm helping Chris's dad sell it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right now, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Which one? I didn't even know you had a laundromat.
Yeah, Chris's dad owned that laundromat over there by Purple Cow.
He owns that?
Yeah, he owned that.
I didn't know that. I know,
25
sorry,
years.
Chris. I didn't know that.
25 years. That's where the entrepreneurial comes from, right? Like, with
Interesting.
him, he has that. going.
Well, Chris, okay. Sorry if this comes out wrong, but at Aztec Boxing, I don't see it as a business. I see it as a fighting gym, like backyard fighting gym, dude.
I gotta go in there.
Yeah.
He always tells me, come over. I know Chris since we grew up across the street from each other. I
Yeah.
know him since longer than you.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
like in 2nd grade. I met Chris.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
So he knows my neighbor. He knows Victor. My neighbor's his name is Victor, and he knew my neighbor Victor. I was just like, what? Like I'm not surprised. It's a small world.
Yeah, small.
Super
South
small
Bay,
world. But Chris was in the wrestling team with my little brother Derek.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how, and I met Chris when I was training at Alliance.
Yeah.
I didn't even meet him in high school.
Oh, you didn't meet him outside?
Nah. My brother knew him. I never met him until I started training at Alliance. I started training at Alliance. I started knowing all these.
And that's when he was like pro boxer Chris.
Yeah. What is the 619 boy or San Diego boy? Sorry, I forgot what his nickname was, but he's all repping San Diego. So, but I train at Aztec Boxing. I've been there for since Alliance closed down since COVID. So I just migrated over there, and I like it over there. But I don't think they structure like a business. If you talk in business, that's not their forte. I don't think. I could be wrong, but my impression is it's a gym. Like that's a gym, dude. Like these guys have a passion for training and coaching. No, well now they have Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. Yeah, they got everything now.
I just know when I think of it, because Chris boxing and he's a pro boxer, so we actually we sponsored Chris's a couple of his fights. Yeah, like when he was like making his last hurrah.
Really?
Yeah.
When he retired, like 5.
I don't know if he's actually. I mean, he retired. I don't know. He comes back and boxes.
He came back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
He came back and fought, but I don't really keep up, honestly.
Yeah, we have to have Chris on the podcast, right?
That would be a good one,
call-out.
dude.
I'm gonna call him. Hey, come on.
Hey, is it censored? Because I do the sailor, dude. You be cussing like crazy.
No, but tell us about your home ownership. I know that you own a condo, right? And then
Yeah.
you've owned it for a long time.
So I got it, I don't even, maybe 13, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I got it at 205 at 3.2% interest, and I put in 35% down. So my mortgage is, how they say, papitas, like that. I don't pay nothing. That's why I was able to start my business.
Do you take any equity from your home to start your business?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, I started from nothing. I had nothing in that business.
And I guess, stemming off of that, are you a believer in home ownership?
I believe so. I think there's definite, if there's equity into my property, so if something was to happen, I know I could take equity out. Is that what you mean by?
Yeah, I mean, you're comfortable. You would say, I would go back, buy a house all over again. Or, if I could go back, I'll buy 5 more,
I honestly, it's funny that you say that, because I have been kind of looking at doing that, because it makes sense. It makes sense that's I consider to be passive income sometimes, right? Like if you're buying and renting,
right?
You have to still invest in it. Man, I've serviced some places, and some homeowners don't even put a dime.
Well, that's the other thing I was gonna bring up is you are in and out of homes on the daily.
Always.
Right? You see the good, the bad, and the super ugly, right? Because you have to go under the houses and everything, right?
Sure.
I guess that could give you an appreciation for real estate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I see the benefits of it. I see it on different aspects of a morale standpoint. Like, I think that you should be investing into people, into your property, and into how people live there. Because I've seen people with mold, and I'm like, I don't say anything because it's not my place, but in my head, I'm like, how the hell do you know? I tell a landlord, and they don't do anything about it. I'm just like, damn, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But I think what happens a lot of times is, well, we're not mentioning names, but I think a lot of times that they rent that place. They use that income to pay their new spot. So anything they have to put in there,
it becomes an expense.
like an expense that they don't have. So they don't put in nothing, and they become like slumlords.
Yeah, and I think that goes to show a lot of like what's on the market, and then why people are so upset when they get like a cash offer for 70% of their value. But you have to understand, like, going into a place and refurbishing all of that,
Yeah,
it takes time, effort, money, and it's also a business of somebody's, right?
absolutely.
And in business, your goal is always to make money, right? So
yeah, single.
if you're not gonna take care of your assets,
Yeah,
then expect them to depreciate.
absolutely.
Right.
But some people, I think some people come in with their like very unclear expectations.
Yeah.
And they come in just guns are blazing. They don't know they're just like, I have the money and I'm just gonna put in this amount. And then it becomes more because they're like, okay, well, we have to fix this now. We have to fix this. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, like, it becomes like a headache, and then it's become survival instincts now. So now they're surviving, and they don't have the money, and then they become like.
And then it becomes someone else's problem down the line.
Yes. And so now, like, it becomes an unethical thing that they're doing. And so, like, some of these places I've been to are bad, like real bad. I'm just like, how can you live?
What's the
like,
worst? What's without like making us throw up? What's the worst thing you ever seen?
As far as like
Going
pest
into a
issues
property.
or how a
Either
property,
whatever you want to say.
I'll
Your grossest thing.
I'll factor in one of them. There was this one spot in Logan Heights, and the guy called in because they're having rat issues and spider issues. And so when I went inside, there was mold throughout the entire house. Like, everything was black, and you could tell it was spotty white, but it was all molded. And the couches were filled with spider webs. So they had spider webs and black widows
And
underneath.
it's like someone's living in there.
Yeah, someone was living in there. And not only that, the rats were it was just infested with rats. Like, it was just like, dude, like, I don't know what we
like
can
the
do.
rats were the roommates. They're just
They're just
out.
chilling. And then when I try to find open spots, like, the entire sub area floor is open. You got roof joints that are open. The roof is coming apart. Like, the roof, it needs a new roof, clearly. There's holes in the roof. There's leakage everywhere. There's mold everywhere. There's puddles of water inside the house. And I'm just like, I don't know why I'm here.
Like, tear this
You got-
house down.
You got other problems. You got to focus on other things right now. And the dude was like a drunken guy, and there was like 10 people living in there. It was like 3 rooms. I'm just like, godly, dude. And they had roaches everywhere. I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I can help you here.
Yeah.
We'll walk away from a job, dude. We'll
Because
walk
it's
away.
an impossible save, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
build a new house.
Yeah.
Start from scratch.
Tear this down and build a new one.
But it's crazy. I bet you're in that situation a lot, right? Because I feel like pest control is like the last option sometimes, right?
Right.
Like, oh shoot, we gotta save this house. Let's call pest control, right? But I mean, I know just from knowing from you, because I'll call you too on some stuff and be like, hey, do you have recommendations from this, or have you ever dealt with this? Because I feel like that stuff crosses your plate a lot of times, right?
Right.
And I don't know. I just feel like, as a homeowner myself, I feel like a lot of people put it off,
Yeah.
and then they're like, I should have called Mike.
Yeah.
Right? So you probably get a lot of like the 911 stuff that's really not your forte.
No, but I have
You have enough experience with it.
Right. I can give my opinion about something. Like, this is what I experienced before. This is how they dealt with it. This is how I dealt with it. There's a possibility that you might get the same outcome by dealing with it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I never try to give too much feedback because I don't never want to say I'm always right. I always want to say this is my experience, and I got this outcome based on that experience. So I've done that before. But like you said, like as a homeowner, like if as a homeowner for me, like if there's stuff that needs to be fixed in my house, I get it fixed right away. You know,
Do you do it yourself? You're handy?
I have become handy for sure, especially in the last couple of years, just because I fix other people's stuff that, you know how to fix that? I'm like, let me give it a shot. Sign this saying that I'm not responsible for it.
I think with me is like I'm super handy, but my time versus my handiness is kind of like the thing. And then like usually if you're paying someone, is you're paying for their expertise,
Absolutely.
right? To do it better than you're gonna do it.
I would jump on real quick to pay for something that I know is going to take a long time. No question about it.
So what are you fixing around the house? You do like your own plumbing, your own tile, your own.
Some plumbings I do, like the what is it called? The T-trap.
P-trap.
The P-trap. Like if there's something clogged, I'll take it off. You know, I'll close the valve. I'll do that. When it comes down to like patching drywall, I can do. I did drywall for a long time. Patching drywall, texturing, I can do that. When it comes down to like baseboards come off. I can cut it off, level it in, put the baseboard in, stuff like that. Or hinges, like if there's hinges, like handyman stuff. You know.
Do you enjoy doing that stuff?
I do now. I do enjoy it in the moment.
Because it's your house.
Yeah, I do it in other people's house too, and I enjoy it too. It just happens to be in the moment. It's like I tell myself, there's a lot of things I don't enjoy, but I do it anyways because I feel like I resist that. I always try to do things I resist the most. So if I resist getting up and doing stuff, I don't want to do that. I'm like, get up and do it. I'm like, all right, get up and I do it, and then I'm enjoying it as I'm doing it. I'm like, damn, it came out good. All right.
That's why I'm at the stairs every Wednesday.
Yo, I was thinking about you on that. You still do that?
Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal. I went with you a couple of times. Yeah. Me that I've been training for a long time, you were like out lapping me. I was like, damn. I was like, this is brutal. Do you go with them too? I know that sounds
I go as much as I can.
How's been out there? He's been out there a lot.
Yeah, pretty consistent for over a year now. Yeah.
When I went the last time I went, you were there. So
that's right. We've seen a few people come through.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like come out and challenge yourself a little bit. But you were talking about challenging yourself, right?
Sure.
Like, you do all the stuff that makes you uncomfortable or you don't want to do because it's a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also because like I feel like when you constantly challenging yourself, like you're alive, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to like prove yourself.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person. Some people want to prove themselves. Some people just do it impulsively. Some people want to do it for other people, which I don't think that's a good idea. But I guess it depends on who you ask. But I guess for the majority of part, you just want to prove to yourself that you can do it. Like, I know I can do it. I'm telling myself I can't. Like, the left side of me is like, you suck, you're good for nothing, you'll never do it. And then the right side is like, nah, you're a warrior, you got this, I believe in you. Now you get to choose. I always like to choose this guy, because, like, this dude is like, nah. Because I've always went with this guy. Never served me. This guy serves me a lot. It's just logical.
Yeah.
Like, I try to think things on a logical perspective.
Yeah, I know Javi's been doing a lot of work at home.
Yeah.
He did to remodel his whole bathroom.
Still working on it.
By yourself?
My dad helps. Yeah.
Oh, what?
But I enjoy it. I enjoy spending time with my dad. I enjoy getting my hands dirty.
You're learning in the process of stuff.
Always learning. Yeah. So everything we do is a learning experience.
And it makes it better because it's your house. Like you live there. You see the outcome of it.
It also might be a trust issue because have somebody coming in to do some work and you're paying them so much money to do it,
right.
And if it doesn't come out
how you
wanted it, then you end up being kind of upset with yourself for
right.
Trusting someone so much to do it. So,
but obviously you're in real estate. Is still a trust factor? Even is it more of a trust factor because you've seen people doing some things that you don't like, or?
Yeah, I mean, you've come across situations where maybe you've come across situations where somebody reaches out to you because they had another pest control person come out, charge them a ton of money, botch the job, and you're there to fix it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same mentality when it comes to doing stuff around the house. It's like let me give it a shot. If it's over my head, let's get the professionals in. But
are you liking how things are coming out?
Yeah. I mean, my wife likes it, so that's
oh,
that's what matters. Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly. And how much more are you going to do on there? Are you like 30% done, or?
I would say about 30% done. Putting in new floors, putting in a new vanity, mirrors. So.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, we got the bathroom or the bathtub done for the most part. Yeah.
How long did that take?
About a day and a half.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Damn, good job.
We knocked it
They
out.
only have one bathroom, so you gotta do it all, and make sure you can shower the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing stuff? I know that.
I'm constantly doing
Yeah.
stuff, man. It's a headache. So my next goal is we want to do our house. Like, you've been to our house.
Yeah.
It's old as hell.
Right.
It just sits in a very nice piece of land.
Dude, that's a nice. The view is, and then you cut the bushes, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I went there last time, and I was like, whoa, you can actually see the outside. That's cool. What about you had a Airbnb?
The Airbnb's there.
It's still there?
Completely remodeled on that one. Actually, I got a quote to do like all of the windows. So like we're still fixing it up. Going back to talking about upkeep, right?
Sure.
People beat the shit out of the house. Like people literally like they don't care.
They
right?
don't care.
It's Airbnb. Like whatever, we broke something, and they'll like steal a blanket, like, and they'll tell you about it. Like, hey,
What is it, a hotel?
I took this blanket.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, can you vent us for the blanket? Like, now we have to buy the damn blanket,
Yeah.
But
So no response when you said, "Can you Venmo it?"
yeah, I mean, so people are like, how much is this blanket? Like if it was for sale, like, thanks for taking it.
People are funny.
But yeah, man, you run into all kinds, right? People's questions, dumb questions. I'm sure you're learning that a lot. And you're in the customer service business,
Very
right?
much so.
And yeah, man, it's tough. It could be tough. It could be. Sometimes I don't even like going to that house. Like I only like going after the cleaners go because like I see like people are doing to it, and I get very emotionally attached to my
Sure.
property, I guess.
Absolutely, I get it.
Especially because I watched over the work. I pick and choose things. I'm very hands on.
Are you planning to get another one?
Yeah, I mean, always my goal is to keep building my real estate portfolio.
For sure.
I think right now, number one is going to be fixing the house because that's where I live and I want my family to be comfortable.
Sure.
So that's going to be the next step is like, we're going to start that process, knock it out, and, see what comes of it.
Where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that the Airbnb is like a big thing right now.
Yeah.
I don't know the laws based off of that or the tax stuff, but I know that like my mentor Caesar, he has I think 2 now, and it's going real good for him.
I mean, especially in San Diego, like who doesn't want to come here, right?
Everybody does. Maybe don't want to. Mostly to visit because it's expensive out here. Some people are leaving out here because it's a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I was born and raised here, literally South San Diego 619 all day.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. So I ain't going nowhere. Every time I leave, I get homesick. Like I go to I went to Florida. Florida's cool. Miami's a little bougie, but it was cool. But then like 2 days later, I'm like,
Time to go back. Yeah.
Time to go home.
Time to go back to San Diego.
Nothing
Miss
like
it.
home.
Nah.
But that's where like, we have people coming here every day. We're huge in tourism, right? And
Yeah.
like what they're doing at the Bayfront, that's gonna change the
That's
dynamic of everything,
right.
especially in South Bay, where where we're from.
Yeah.
And that's why I bought the house there because like it's gonna be insane.
That's a good. And you knew that there was coming. The
Yeah.
Bayfront. That was good strategy.
I knew it was coming, but not only that, like talking about like putting things out there in the universe and like setting our goals. But like
Sure.
I was like, I want a 4-bedroom house with a pool.
Yeah.
And then like boom, this house popped up on the market, and I was like, did I just like wish this? You know what I mean? And I was like, I have to have this house. Like this is exactly what I said I wanted in the same like radius of where I wanted. And I shot my shot. You
Yeah.
could say, right?
You got it.
I got it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the best decisions that we've made. Like right now, it's literally paying for itself. So
Yeah.
and we're not even to the point yet where they've opened that development.
Yeah, I know.
Once they do, like conventions, not so much more stuff is coming.
I wonder if that's a private investor, right? It's not the city investing.
No, well, I think the city of Chula Vista they put money into it because they're building up parks and all that stuff too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then, but yes, a private developer. A lot.
Oh, they dropped millions
Billions.
on that thing. Godly.
Billions. It's like a $3.2 billion project.
My goodness. I cannot wait till it's open. I mean, it's gonna get kind of wild out there. It's gonna be people just gonna bum rush it over there.
Yeah, I mean, and then thinking about it, like another 11 buildings
Yeah.
of residential.
That's insane.
Think about all the pest control you could do over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Keep you busy, man.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine the big players. They got their eyes and cash on that easy. Yeah, because that's why for us, like as you know, I'm a part of BNI. I've been BNI for 5 years. I'm in 5 years. Partners in Excellence in Bonita. Anybody who wants to join, and it's the best decision. It's the best decision in the sense of collaboration with other like-minded people. Our return on investment on there is really high, but we get like 18 to 20% of our revenue does come from BNI, so it's not all of it. We have other factors. Our referral base is off the charts, dude. Every day we get referrals. Every single day we get referrals. We have like tier 12. And those of you who don't know what tier means, it's like if somebody refers you, then that person they referred you refers you to somebody else, and then you go so on and so forth, all the way to 12. We track all that. It's important to track that stuff.
You track that?
Yeah, our team tracks that.
How do you? Is there like you just do it on a Excel sheet, or how you check that?
Software.
Or is it software?
Yeah, we have a software called Gorilla Desk, and it'll say where did you hear us from, and we put in either Thumbtack, Yelp, referral, BNI, so on and so forth.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're huge on referrals too. Like I would say 90% of my business is referrals.
For sure. Yeah, I think referrals is the way to go. LSA is important too, like paid leads are important. I think those are all important. Invest money in marketing is important, but know where you stand and know the competitive market out there.
But it also, if your business is based on referrals, it talks a lot about your business, right?
It does.
Like you're literally being told that you're the best at what you do.
Yeah.
To all the other clients.
And again, yes, but they can only go so far. That's why it's always good to venture out somewhere else, in my opinion. I don't want to be like, this works for me, I'm going to stay here. I'm like, okay, this works great. Where else can I go?
Yeah, because there's no growth in that model.
There is, but how aggressive?
Yeah, it's a slower growth.
Like for us, that's why we have what we have. We don't put a lot of money in marketing and stuff like that. I think that if you start to like really, because we're marketable. I mean, look at our vehicles, look at talk to any of our techs, look at our merchandise. People always think that we're a franchise all the time, like we're a bigger company. It's perspective, it's perception.
Yeah, it's definitely perception.
But so if we was to market, we would do really well, but that means that we're getting a flow of things that we cannot get. And then what does that mean? That means that we're gonna have to get somebody that we're not aligned with too much, but we're so desperate that we have to get them. Damn, I always forget that quote. Necessity is a bad form of bargaining or something like that, Benjamin Franklin. That's like, I'm butchering it, it's not like that, but it's like, I don't want to bargain with something that I need. I don't want to do that. I want to just like bargain with something that they need me. So everybody that comes here is some sort of like synergy. Like this, you're a good fit, we're a good fit. Are you okay with being coached? Are you okay with getting feedback? If you are, great. And not a lot of people are. Yeah. Not a lot of people are like, oh, you can't tell me what to do. So I'm like, okay, you can just go out that door.
But yeah, I think that's a great approach, and it's honestly the same approach I've taken with Connect, right? Like, I didn't call Carlos and beg him to come in, or like,
right.
The same with Javi. Like, we just naturally attracted to each other,
right? And
I think that's like the best way to do it. But I'm at a place where right now we've been talking about like, should we grow? Should we add agents? What should we do?
Right.
Obviously, we want to get a new office, and growth is inevitable at some point.
Sure.
What is your take on that? Like, how big do you want to get with that business?
It's funny because at first I thought I wanted massive, but that means there's going to be operations in place. I have to get like a supervisor and a manager. And to be honest with you, just because I have a goal to such a systematic approach to things that I don't want to just go down that path right now. I really want to really empower my team members because they're all young. I got all like younglings, young bucks, you know what I mean? Little youngsters. They're like 25, 24, 23. I have a female technician. She's born and raised here in Chula Vista. She used to work at a Jiffy Lube and did an oil change, and her customer service was like nothing I've ever seen before in my life. I was like, whoa, like you don't see customer service like that no more. So a year later, I was going to get my oil change. I asked her, hey, have you ever thought about working somewhere else? And she's like, I don't know. A year later, she's like, let me go on a ride along. We're on a ride along. All of a sudden, she's part of our team, and she is phenomenal. Like, she is amazing. All my team members, every single one of them. I'm not gonna name the names because I didn't get permission, but every single one of them, they were somehow.
So you poached that one. You're like, hey,
Everybody
you get
says that. I
this.
didn't poach nothing. I did not poach.
Right.
She
You
always says.
planted the seed, and
She always
came-
says that. She always like,
came.
you poached me. I'm like, no, I did not. I gave you what I believe would be a good fit.
Yeah.
Now you choose whether you want to come or not. You made the choice. I don't think I did.
It's cool that you recognize the capabilities.
Yes, and I because of our core values and our mission statement, I believe that she fit like a glove, and I wasn't wrong. She fits in perfectly well. Does she like rats? She hates rats. She won't touch a rat, but she's good at customer service. She's good at GHB.
Rat call.
Oh, she dreads it, dude. She dreads it. Like yesterday, she called me. She's like, I got 3 rodent trap checks.
But I mean, that's fine, right? Like when you're running a business, it's I think good to have people that are good at something.
Yeah.
Right. Because that spreads like a wildfire within your business.
Sure. I think that everybody has strengths for sure.
Exactly.
Everybody's strengths. The part of our puzzle was when we got our manager, our office manager. She was a good friend of mine for a long time. You know, mutual friends. She was working at a property management company. I had another office manager was just like, she just wasn't a good fit, and I was pretending not to know, and I just allowed her to just do whatever she wanted. Once I was able to get her in here, she's like the most incredible person I've ever met in my life. Like, she was the piece of the puzzle that we needed in order to grow. Without her, I don't think we would have grown at all. So I want to shout out, I didn't get her name, so I'm not going to say her name, but shout out to, you know who you are, shout out to you. And she was able to she's just an amazing person, and that's what I mean, like, bright people. Have you guys ever read a book called David Collins, Good to Great?
Good to hear. I mean,
That's a great book. I read that book, and ever since I read that book, I understood having the systems in place and having the right people in place. Because I didn't know what that meant, but having the right people, you can have 100 people in your team, and you can have bragging rights all you want, like, yeah, I got 100 people, yeah, but what does it mean? It means nothing if they're just doing what they want. You know, they're not the right people.
or they're not showing up.
Or they're not
doing
showing-
their job. Right?
Exactly, or they're just spraying and leaving and not talking to nobody. I don't care about all that. That's all perception. That's all just like the dog and pony show. I don't care about all that. I would be okay with having what I have now and having the right people than having 100 people and having the wrong people.
Yeah, it's good to know that, you know, although your team is small or relatively small, you can rely on every individual there, as opposed to having a massive team sending people out and not knowing what kind of feedback you're going to get from the customer.
Right.
So
And it lets you sleep at night a little bit.
I'll sleep. That's one thing. I sleep great. I have my medication at night and I sleep like a baby. So that for me, I sleep well. But and that's the thing about me too. I don't really dwell on things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I let things go pretty quick. Like, I'm just like, it's not that serious. I have my health. I have everything that I need in order for me to be sane, and that's all I care
Health,
about.
your family, your home, you're good.
Exactly.
And you
I know-
work.
Honestly, to be honest, it's gonna sound very selfish, but I have my mind. Like, I was on a podcast on BNI, and they asked me if you were in front of 1 million people and you had to give a shout out to one person that made a big difference in your life, who would it be? And I said, me. Me. And he was like, whoa, I never heard that one before. I'm like, yup, me.
You gotta
Up there like
shout
Kanye?
yourself out.
Oh yeah, I took that
You
from
gotta
Kanye.
be your biggest fan, right?
Yeah, dude, because if it's meant to be, it's up to me.
Yeah, that's
You
awesome.
know, so that's it. That's it. That everything else, yeah, family's great and all, but see, I'm different, dude. I'm telling you, I'm just not like most people. Most people are like, I think my family. I'm like, I think me. Sorry, family. I think me.
What do you think gave you that mindset? Is it like the 19 years of training Muay Thai? Is it your upbringing? What brought you to this
All of-
mentality?
All of it. But putting everything together, because of Choice Center, everything that I went through, from back in the day with Clint knows, that was part of my mindset too, because it was sink or swim back then. We went through a lot of craziness back then. And those of you who know me and have been there, you already know. I don't have to say too much, but that gave me that mindset of just like, keep going. That's part of it. Part of it was also like school. Part of it was also, trial and error. Part of it was also, getting beat up. It's just everything it was just like a big pile of things that was trying to get into my door, and I was just pushing it down, like, no, you can't come in, I'm scared. Now I'm just like, you know what, come on in, dude.
Finally in the right place.
Yeah,
right?
like you come in, you there, you there, you there, you there. What does that create? Me.
Did you always kind of see you having a business in the future, or
Never.
never?
I never would have thought I owned a business ever in my life. Never. This is something, I'm telling you, I'm just very like spontaneous. Like, never thought about it, then be like, one day I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to show you. No, I never had that mentality.
That's crazy to think, because I always knew I was going to be a business owner. I don't know where I came from or, you know, whatever. I just knew, like, I was always going to be owning my own business. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
What it was.
Or when,
but
right?
Or when, right? I didn't even find real estate until I was, 30 years old. So
Yeah.
now that I found it, like, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm addicted to it. Like, riding the wave.
Riding the
Like,
wave,
there's
man.
no getting off, right?
I ain't getting off.
The only thing that I've been like getting off for is my family. Like, I have the 2 little ones at home, and it takes a lot, sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's important for people, and it should be important. But yeah, like nah, I have a very stoic mindset, and it's a very taboo for me to say this, and I really don't care what people think. But that's just me. If I'm gonna be authentic, I'm gonna be authentic. I'm not gonna pretend like and say like all this stuff, and in my mind I'm like, I'm lying. I'm like, nah, man, I really don't. Like, I'm not. It's important to me. I'm not saying it's not important. Of course it is. But like right now, my mind's always focused on this.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's crazy, obviously you run and manage and own a pest control company.
Yeah.
But from talking to you, it's much more than that, right? And that's the person that you come off of, maybe because it's the passion that you have for it, but it's not just a pest control company to you. It's like, it's a lot more than that. It's deeper.
It is. I can systematically tell you what it is. It's education. It's life. It's passion. It's help. It's fear. It's love. It's sweat. It's tears. I mean, it's everything. It's the whole thing. I think with family too. Family is the same thing. I think if you have the right people, like the right family members that support you, I think that's what I got a good support system for my family.
Yeah.
So I think that's what allows me just to go, and they
freely.
Yeah, they know who I am, man, and they accept it. I am just kind of like, I'm a very stoic person. What can I say?
They understand that you're on the wave right now.
Right. And if they need me, I am there. But right now, since everything's taken care of, there's systems in place on that end. I don't really worry about mortgages. I pay nothing really.
Which goes back to our point, right?
Yeah.
Buy a house now.
Yeah.
Right? Buy a house now, lock in now,
Yes.
because it sets yourself up for success in the future. You want to go chase your dreams,
Yes.
You're locked into a lower mortgage now than you will be in 15 years from now. Right?
It's such an investment too. Like, why would you want to rent a house that you're paying that you can pay the exact same thing to own your own house? To me, it just doesn't make sense to rent. I mean, for some people it does. For me, it does not. I love owning because I know that I have something to fall back on. I can take equity out.
And maybe that gives you a little bit more of like that aggression in your business. Is like,
1,000%.
I have this backbone. I know I have this condo. If anything was to happen, I could get a job and pay my mortgage still. You know what I mean? Like,
Easy.
It's easy.
Super easy.
I guess before we end this, what's a couple tips for homeowners for pest management? Just call you, or do you have like a 3-step system, like something to go like, I noticed this a lot at homes. You guys should not do that.
Yeah, I would say, like, especially if you're going to buy a home, get a good inspector. Like, get a good home inspector, like the home inspector with Eric. He's good.
Shout out Eric.
Yeah, what's up, Eric? I get a good home inspector for sure, and have them really point out certain areas that are open areas. Especially like termites is a big thing. Rodents are a big thing. Roaches are a big thing. Like, just have a good home inspector to really observe certain things that are conducive, and then have either
that understands the pest control side.
Absolutely, because there's some inspectors that don't know what the hell it means. They're like, oh, this is something. Who knows? Someone that has an idea and can recommend somebody, or just put it in the report. Because once you buy a house and there's damages, it's going to be more of a headache, and then you're going to probably regret buying a house. But if you do your homework and know that those are the conditions that could happen, it's better stay ready instead of, what is that quote? It's stay ready, so you have to get ready or be ready or something like that. Just get a good home inspector. I would say that. And people love maintenance services. So if you're a type of person that doesn't like bugs, I would say invest into a good pest control service to come out on a bi-monthly basis, to put in that product on an ethical level. That way your family's safe, your kids are safe, and you don't have to worry about these bugs.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good point right there. I know you've been servicing my house. I don't have any no problems. That's good. Actually, you got rid of the gophers.
Yeah.
And now they came back though.
Oh, they came back?
Yeah,
of course they
man.
do. They always do.
Damn gophers, man. But no, your boy was out there last week and he was telling me, yeah, man, that's gophers again. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's get them.
You sure you don't just go and drop them off?
Nah. You know what? It's funny you say that because I guess because we're gonna end this, so I end it with this. There was a homeowner that showed me a video of a company that did a termite inspection, and they put cameras in their attic. Because I didn't do the termite, I did a rodent inspection, and I'm everywhere. And all my team, we're all trained the same. We don't just like, well, it looks okay. Like, we go deep in there. Obviously, we have our PPE, our respirators, we have our gloves, and we have our hazmat suits. So we go deep, and they're like, I like you guys. You guys like the other company. I'm like, what other company do? He's like, you want to see the video? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. So I looked at the video and see some big old Ansoni dude, like he's on there, all freaking wobbling in there, and then he takes out a bag, and it was termite. It was termite alates, and he put it out, took a picture of it, and showed and then the homeowner has cameras up there, and called him out on it.
Really?
Yeah, dude. There's people that do that. Our industry got some questionable people, dude.
Man.
Questionable people, and I think it's the I don't know if it's the generation or not, man. But goddamn, there's some spray jockeys. We call them spray jockeys. People that just spray the wind. Okay, here's a bill. Bye. You know, there's a lot of those. There's like unethical people that have no integrity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in our industry. I think there's a lot of that in any industry, but our industry is we got some of those, dude. We do.
Yeah, I think, you know, reputation of your industry is tough when it's not you that's doing it, right?
Right.
You know, realtors in general, we have a bad name. People don't like us. But
I know.
we're literally here trying to educate people, right? And not only that, bring together the community, do
Yep.
things for the community.
Yep.
You said something that didn't sit completely right with me. We said that you're the villain, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see you as a villain, man. You're the superhero. You're part of our team, right? When we're out here giving back to the community.
Right.
We appreciate you. You know, respect your time. I appreciate you coming on. And I don't think you're a villain, man. I think you're part of the super squad. Maybe you're like the Wolverine, right? The outcast part. Right?
I was gonna say I think I'm Batman, dude.
The Batman.
I'll take Batman all day. Batman's my favorite superhero all time because he has a stoic that stoicism, dude. That doing the things that are hard, no matter if it's good or bad, he's gonna make those decisions. He don't smile. He don't laugh. He just, you know, I ironically I laugh and smile a lot, but like when I have to make decisions, I don't smile. Like people don't really like my team members are like, damn, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't say sorry, just do it. You know, because sorry is just words. Actions are different.
Yeah.
I'm a man of action. I was like a person. I'm a man. I'm a man of action. You know, so I don't care if you tell me like I'm gonna do this for you. I promise. Like, right. Until you do it, I'm like, right. You know, now I believe you. But if you do this, I don't believe you. And so that's where the stoicism comes in. That's where the villain comes in. So sometimes I'm a hero, sometimes I'm not. I'm Batman.
Well, we appreciate you having you on. You're welcome back anytime. And you know, for the people that are watching this, you're one of the 3 that watch it. So we are doing a turkey drive this year. We're up to about. I raised enough money to buy about 200 turkeys. We haven't purchased them all because we have to find places to purchase them and places to keep them.
Store them, right?
Yeah. So if anybody out there has freezer space, please reach out. And if you watch this podcast, thank you. Please subscribe. We hope to get more viewers than our 3. Michael being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get another 10. Let's go.
Let's go. Until next week.
Stay connected.
Jeez.
Dope,
Yeah,
bro.
dude, that was fun.
Hell yeah.
I like conversations, bro.
Yeah,
That's
you're
it.
good at them, man.
Yeah. I like talking.